Right? And then that's it.
They're just
sound for a second. Okay. Hey, Josh Holder, you hearing me out there? Because the internet keeps going out, up and down here. Okay, we got sound there now. Guys, but we do have an obligation if we have to try to get loads for our customers. So you do either got to call in or come in. If there are routes we can go, we got to do that and try to get stuff done. You know, this is supported by all the way from Pat on down. Your gold hats should be enforcing it, working with the supervisors if you guys run into problems. You know, with Samsara, dispatch can see that still picture of what you're facing when the drift is higher than the hood of your truck, that kind of stuff. Let them know. Tell them, look at what I'm seeing here. As I said, most of the time we change or you stop work for weather conditions. Sometimes there are conditions on location that require it. You know, and the one that keeps shooting the balls of oil out of the flare, starting the prairie on fire. That's probably when you stop work. We don't want to be underneath that flare. First process, stop. You know, it could be as simple as telling somebody to put safety glasses on, put their cones out, whatever. If it's something major to do with a location or the prairie on fire at the one, call dispatch. Most of our producers have a log that they want to know the use of stop work authority on their locations. Chesapeake, we also ask you to do an incident report on it, and we submit those to them. And they review all those. If you've got a great use of stop work, they'll want you at their contractor safety meeting to possibly get an award from them. If it's something we have to investigate it, we will. We'll work with supervisors. If safety's got to come out, the producer, whatever, we'll work on those. If we can correct it ourselves, we shall. If it's something that a producer's got to fix, and I know they're kind of slow, the one with the broken sports on the stairwell, they still haven't got fixed yet, and we've talked to them about it. But if it's something that we have to send you away from, we want you to know if it gets corrected. Because if you just deadheaded 100 miles and got no oil because of a problem out there, and 2 days later they're going to send you back, the first thing you're going to say is, I bet you it's not fixed. So we want you to know that it is repaired. But if it's something we can resume right now, we will. If it's still doesn't feel right to you or unsafe, let the supervisor know. We can send you to a different area. We're not going to force you to do something that's not safe in your eyes. If it's something we got to follow up on, as I said, with producers and that kind of stuff, we shall. But remember, you all have that right and obligation to use stop work when necessary. April, we're going to talk about weather awareness and chaining up as our safety topic. You know, you got all kinds of weather that comes and goes right now. I think we're out of the real cold time, but then you got that wet, heavy, sloppy snow. You can go into rain, into thunder and lightning, all that kind of stuff. Remember, if you're out there and the lightning's crashing around you, shut your stuff in, stop, keep the truck grounded. You don't want to be up on top of the tanks with that. Most of those run pretty fast. Give it 5-10 minutes, it'll be away from you. Don't be up on top of the tanks. In the last 2 weeks, we had 59 stuck trucks. We had to have 16 with wreckers, and the rest either you guys or supervisors got out. But a good majority of them weren't chained. And you can talk to Jamie and Brent and Jeff, who've been running nights like crazy, back and forth with stuck trucks with no chains. And when you're stuck, you're stuck. Don't keep digging holes. Tuesday draw, Brent and I were out there, and it was below the duals that just kept digging and digging and digging. Let's not do that. When you're stuck, you're stuck. You risk more damage to the truck. You could tear up all kinds of things just trying to keep going.
And 9 times out of 10, if you just stop, a supervisor with a tow rope can just pull you guys out, even loaded. Problem is when you do bury yourself, it's blade record time.
So with the chains, make sure your chains are good. Don't be stealing from other trucks. Come in there and get the proper things. We had 2 collisions in 2 days with fixed objects. And they weren't even on locations that we haul. One was a producer that we don't even do anything for. If you're going onto locations to turn around, lost, whatever, or if this is where you're getting your load, wide corners, use your lights at night. Use the mirrors, because both of them are pretty substantial damage. One of them was running over the exhaust pipe with the pump jack and tearing the propane tank out, and the other was destroying the containment. So make sure you use those mirrors constantly. Ball valves, remember they have that stopping point, 90 degree. If you really wrench on it to be closed, you might have opened it back up a little bit, especially if the line's hot, and you'll get stuff leaking by. 90 degrees angle to the closed line, and you should be shut. Had an incident today up on Highway 387 in the Cosner Road. For those of you that hadn't heard about it, one of our trucks was rear-ended. It ended up being a 9-vehicle collision with stuff everywhere. Our driver did go to the hospital. He was treated and released. Doing okay. We had no product release. The trailer itself, it's going to take some substantial work. It happened early morning when it was really, really foggy. You always hate to be stopped in the middle of the roadway to make a left in those conditions because you don't know what's coming up on you. And that was the case. He was waiting for a truck to get off the Cosner Road so he could turn onto the Cosner to go the left. And water hauler came up on him really fast, went around him, and almost clipped him, but the roustabout truck didn't even see him and plowed right into the rear of him. It could have been really bad for those guys. They all were okay. One of them did hit the windshield. So he's going to have some problems. Our guy's good. Just be aware of those. It was really, really icy and really foggy. You always hate to be that guy in line with nothing behind you. Because you can't see them until it's too late. You just got to brace yourself. But the value of seatbelts, he was okay there. But there was enough force it pushed his loaded truck ahead about a half a tractor length. And his glasses came off his face and hit the windshield and bent him. That's how hard this guy hit him. And yeah, just watch yourself in there, especially when it's really foggy. Slow down. None of these folks were driving the speed limit. Kyle, you got stuff for him?
Yeah, I want to talk about driving off the road. So when you guys get stuck and you guys go out into the prairies of any field, lease road, that's not leased. That's farmer's land. To him, that's vandalism. Right now, we're negotiating, but we're somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000 in reclamation fees from guys just driving through fields. Like, we have to pay to get that reclaimed. And it's not cheap. Producers are like, what the hell is he doing out there? It is a big deal. Like, I get it. You're like, it's just grass, dirt. Doesn't really matter. It matters to the rancher. And it's big when it comes to the relationships between the producer, trucking company, and the rancher. So be mindful. If you have to drive out in the field, we gotta figure out another way to get you out. Because tearing up the roads, or not the roads, but the rancher's land, it can't be done. We had one guy who was told to wait. He didn't wait, and he just drove out into the field to get around a stuck truck. And that's the big one right there. We're looking at $30,000 just on that one to get the whole land reclaimed. So that's all I got. So just please be careful. Don't drive off the lease road into the prairie land. Don't use it to turn around. If you're stuck, just stay out of the rancher's land.
Any questions from you guys? Comments, concerns? Any questions online? Well, I told you it was going to be kind of short and sweet. Thanks for coming in, guys. Make sure you're on the sign-up sheet, please.